Gallatin County. There was an incident that occurred at Mr. Gianforte's campaign headquarters. There were allegations of an assault that occurred. Our deputies responded. As soon as they responded, we interviewed Mr. Gianforte very briefly, and then we have spoken to others that are there. It's my understanding that there were 5 other people present. So again, that is part of the investigation. We have to interview all of those people, including the alleged victim, which is happening right now. So I will not be answering any questions about the incident at all. So with that, if you have questions, I will tell you that I'll tell you whether I can answer it or I can't. So one at a time.
Is the victim filing charges?
The victim is being interviewed, I believe, as we speak.
What's his health status?
He has been released from the hospital and he is over at our office as we speak being interviewed.
Any injury is there?
I am not aware of the specifics of what we found out at the hospital.
Sheriff, do you know where Mr. Gianforte is currently?
I do not.
Do you have any comment on what effect this will have on the special election?
No.
Is the audio being introduced as evidence, and are you taking that into consideration, the audio file from the reporter?
We have retrieved that from the alleged victim, and again, that will be a part of the investigation.
Is there any more to that recording than just that that's been posted on social media and news outlets?
I don't know. I actually have not listened to the entire audio.
How many witnesses were there?
I believe there was Mr. Gianforte, and there were 5 other people present.
That 5 include the alleged victim as
Correct.
well? Okay, so
yes.
The alleged victim,
Mr.
Gianforte, and 4 others?
Correct.
Okay.
Was the victim trespassing on the premises? Was he invited there as a member of the media?
I don't know the answer to that.
Will the Sheriff's Department be releasing the video taken by some local news stations that allegedly exists?
If there is video, then we will retrieve that and that'll be a part of the investigation.
How much does the special election influence how fast you proceed with the investigations?
It doesn't.
Can you provide any more details on the identity of the other 4 witnesses?
No.
When do you expect files to be charged, or will anybody be charged? Do we know when that will be? How long will this investigation be?
We will, these normal investigations, the way we do this, which is exactly the way we're going to do it with this one. We're not treating this one any different. We're going to interview the victim. We're interviewing all of the witnesses. Once we have all of that information, we will attempt to interview Mr. Gianforte. He has every right in the world to refuse to speak with us.
Is there any reason why no charges were filed at the time of the incident?
Because we did not have all the information at that time.
Has he refused to talk to you at this point?
We have not even spoken with him yet. Okay. Except at the initial scene.
Does his immediate departure from the scene constitute any, like, fleeing the scene of a crime or anything like that?
That'll be a part of the investigation.
At the scene, we overheard one of the fire chief deputies telling Gianforte if any body parts are hurting to come back to medical facilities tomorrow, or when they start. Was Gianforte hurt at all, or?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay.
In the interview, when your deputy spoke to Gianforte at the scene, did he report any injuries to himself?
I don't know that. So what you have to understand is when we go on a scene like this, the initial deputies, all they're trying to do is find out both sides of the story, find out what's happening. So we're talking to all of the parties and trying to get an overall view of what occurred, who was involved, and then we get into more depth. So we've called in our detective division just to find out what's going on. And the detectives are doing the interviews.
Was there any law enforcement there prior to this happening?
Not that I'm aware of.
Did you expect this event to turn violent?
No.
Sheriff, can you provide more information on the 911 call center getting inundated with calls? Who they were coming from specifically?
Mostly from the media, mostly from out of state. So that's the first number that they can find. But then after that, we're getting calls from the public, from obviously every political point of view that you can imagine. 2 cents worth, and that's not the place for that.
Will you try to expedite this investigation at any accelerated speed for the purpose of the voters on election day tomorrow, special election day?
So I've been in contact with Marty Lambert, our county attorney. We'll be visiting with him first thing in the morning, and we'll have more information after that.
Do you know if there was a TV channel or a TV station that caught this on camera by chance?
We do not have any evidence or any information about any video, only the audio. Anything else?
As law enforcement, how is covering, or how is dealing with all the press and dealing with everything?
After this week, this is the last thing we need.
How long do you expect Ben Jacobs to be with you guys? Do you know if you might be available to press later?
I'm sorry, say again.
Do you know how long Ben Jacobs is gonna be with you guys, or if you might be available to speak to press later?
I would imagine our interview is gonna take a while, but obviously, I would guess a couple hours
Okay.
at the most.
How do you weigh an audio recording as evidence?
I don't weigh it. The attorneys and the judge weigh it. So, but we actually, any evidence that we can get to find out exactly what happened to provide facts is obviously very important to us.
Are you aware of any emergency incidents that that this inundation of 911 calls has prevented you from responding to?
No, only that dispatch has contacted me and also our deputies saying, please say something to them and have them stop.
Are there any other law enforcement agencies assisting the investigation?
No.
A spokesman for the Gianforte campaign mentioned that the victim had entered the room uninvited. Is that true? Do we know if that's the case or not, or was he welcomed into the room?
All of that information is part of the investigation. All set? Thank you.
Thank you.